Hey everybody, old Big Jim coming at y'all from the Costa de Barlow here, located at the Barlow Observation Group in beautiful, beautiful South Mississippi. Another great day. Post cloud up rain probably tonight and most of tomorrow. And this is that kind of time of year, guys. Pollen in the air, and you know it's 3/4 of an inch thick on my truck, the pollen and stuff, and it's just what happens here at this time of year. And I get it. I get it bad because of course. Well, I mean, they don't need hiding from it. It's my nostrils went through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and they're not in good shape. And so I have constant drip and stuff. I have a prescription, pretty serious, nose spray that the doctor prescribes for me for that reason. I use it once a day, and it lasts all day, so I don't have to constantly. Some people take some of like a Vicks nasal inhaler and all day long. But this is good stuff. But it's probably addictive, so I use it once and I'm done with it, and it does what it's supposed to do. But at night I'll get this nasal stuff in the back of my nostrils and stuff, and I'll end up with a cough, and the next thing you know, if I'm not careful, it'll turn into an infection, and then there I am, trying to get some antibiotics and a shot and all that stuff. So I'm pretty adamant about trying to keep that in check. Anyway, y'all didn't come here for a medical report. Came here for some pocket knives, didn't you? Pocket knives? Old boy got a few pocket knives. He knows a little bit about pocket knives. But today is going to be another rousing edition of Modified Monday, brought to us by Brother Aaron Williams. Now, I've sat here and preached the accolades of Mr. Aaron for enough that y'all know how I feel about him. I'll just tell you this, and my terminology may be different from some folks, but he got a pair of bull nose fixed blades, buck 103s, I believe, and he heavily modified one of them and turned it. I'm talking about it turned into I call it a pirate's knife. It looks like the old big dagger a pirate would put out on you when it wouldn't be his sword, but it would be his dagger. And it's y'all need to go on over to AW's channel. It's A&W Designs on YouTube. His will be the first link in my description of this video, and then probably a couple more, maybe one more in there today for Modified Monday. Okay, let's start off with this right here. This is Brother Dwayne Clark, another guy I can't say enough about. Knife collector, tool collector of followers. He's developing a ministry, and he has actually hit the nail right on the head, because he can bring it. He's that guy. Anyway, Brother Dwayne, you know how I feel about you, brother. All right, next thing we got coming in here is going to be the challenge coin that I got from Brother Rex Wiseman at this weekend event. He gifted this to me, and it says, "Put on the full armor of God and stand firm." Y'all can, there's the back of it, if I can get it right. Right there, the scripture at the bottom. Y'all write that scripture down and go. If not, leave me a comment, and I'll send you the chapter and verse. Okay, what we got up first? Once again, I'm gonna do this. Clark, Kentucky Knives. He came down to the Wiggins knife show. I guess it's been about 3 weeks ago now, and we hugged necks and changed pleasantries and talked to each other for a few minutes, and kind of went, people went their separate ways. He had a little hip pack on his belt, and he reached in there and he handed me one of those, and he got it sitting there, a little canvas bag that he normally, when he graces people with gifts, and it was full of knives. It must have been, I think it was set 7 in there, but I'm not really sure. I done lost count. There was a kayak in there, and a couple of Barlows, and then these 2 knives. And I'm going to share these with y'all now. Now, all I've done to these is put them through the spa, oiled them up, polished them up, and they're exactly what they're supposed to be. They're perfect little pocket droppers. Okay? This is a lockback knife made by the Barlow, or it wasn't made by them, but it was distributed by them. I don't think Barlow ever made a pocket knife, but I could be wrong. And the reason I say that is because most of the ones that I see, now there are some USA made ones. Make sure I got it right, yeah. Barlow, stainless steel. But on the back it says, I had it backwards. On this side it says stainless steel Japan, and on this side it says Barlow stainless steel. No, palladium. So, but y'all look at that blade, and that's what Case calls a new grind. Okay, that where the grind comes down and makes a swoop down at the bottom. I don't know exactly why they do that, but it doesn't matter. It makes the knife easy to sharpen. But anyway, I took this bad boy, and the blades were all scratched up. People using 80 grit sandpaper to sharpen a knife, or a grinding wheel, or whatever they use to sharpen a knife with. Just it doesn't make any sense to me. But that's okay. I put it through the grits. That's the advertising knife. It says Union Texas Petroleum. Little advertising knife. But it had Japanese on it and Barlow. So you know what? Brother Dwayne said, that's a big gem knife right there. And he's absolutely right. Not much snap. It's a lockback. Not much snap, but an excellent, excellent 5th pocket church gentleman's knife. All right. Coming in at number 2, and this will be the final knife from our brother Dwayne, is this thing right here, and this thing has a lot of question marks for me, but it's a cool knife. Y'all look at that wood on there. Both of these. I don't know if I emphasize that or not on this one, but look at that wood on that, man. That's just beautiful. Probably some kind of, I don't know. If made in Japan, it could be. Ain't no telling. They could have imported it from anywhere around the world. But y'all look at the wood on that sun gun. Got it all polished up. Just beautiful. Now here, this is the thing, man. Look at this point. This blade on this thing. A little block back. Look at that blade. Now, I don't know. This is almost like the point, that bullnose knife I was telling you, Aaron did of course, it's much more upsweet, and it doesn't actually have a point per se. But this, I would call this a bullnose Skinner, if it was a bigger, much bigger knife. But the thing that I love about it, and I'm talking about I really love, is on this side, it says Super Sport. Now, if you follow Brother Dwayne, check out, I'll put me a little piece of leather back there. Got a little snake knot in there. Just a little. Just make it easy to get out of your watch pocket. But I took the same thing, put it through the mineral oil, put it through the wash cycle, went back there, got the channels are all. If I can get that in there. Channels have all been cleaned out. I mean, I didn't show that on the other one. I can't hardly figure out where the camera is. But just look. I mean, it's polished up, beautiful. But get my thing over here. That's a Ted Hart microfiber cloth. But y'all, that thing just cleaned up. It's just an unusual knife. You pull this out and open up a box with your brother or somebody that's in the knife, they're gonna say, "Man, what is that?" And you say, "I don't know, just a little something I picked up." Knowing the whole while, you know exactly what it is. Okay, this one is made by Velour. Now I have a bunch of Velour knives, and they're all Japanese. Okay, so this fits right in my collection. This is a honeydew. Go ahead and get a knife right here, and it says Velour, Miami, USA. But on the back side it says stainless steel. The model number is 318. 318. Japan. So once again, look at that wood. See that? Look at that. Let's get that little stippling in there. Boy, that thing's pretty. Anyway, Brother Dwayne, when somebody watches your channel and they send you a gift that clicks, 4 or 5 different boxes in what you do, they're watching, they're paying attention, and they care. So, thank you, Brother Dwayne. Thank you very much. Not only did I get 3 or 4 pieces of content from your gift, but it also gave me a lot of pleasure cleaning them up, getting them where they were usable, getting them where they were, I'm not going to pull a knife. If I get a basket case, I'm not going to pull it out in front of somebody until it's ready. It's going to be, I'm going to get it as good looking as it can get. Okay, this next knife coming in here is a gift I got from Dan Edwards, an absolutely stellar subscriber, member of my family here at Barlow Brigade. He's been with me since the beginning. I don't know why me and him clicked. I'll tell you just right out of the blue, I'm sitting here one day and the phone rings, and it's Preacher Billy Ray down at Deep South Cutlery. And he goes, "Hey, Big Jim, got something down here for you. You need to eat by the shop." I had no idea. He's done that 2 or 3 times to me. So I jumped up in the truck and, I didn't just run out there. But, I got in the truck a little, minute or 2 later, ran on down there. And he handed me a box, an amber box, had an address on it. It said, Heath Warren. And I said, well, what is Heath? I felt the box. I could hear something in there, but didn't know what it was. Didn't have an amble in it, that's for sure. But I turned the box over to open it. And it had on there, from Dan Edwards, for Big Jim, Barlow Brigade. And I said, Lord have mercy. So I opened it up, and there was an Omar slimline trapper in there from Japan. I'm talking about sharp. If Brother Dan, Brother Dan could bring it. Ain't no doubt about that. But if nothing else, he could sharpen a knife. That son gun was smoking sharp. Now, Brother Dan carries a case, a gentleman's knife. It's a equal end jack pen knife. And from what I've gathered from his stories and our letters and correspondence through, Facebook, stuff like that, he's toted that same knife for 30 years or something to that, close to that. And I understand that. I don't really remember the story about, I think it was his father's, or his father may have gifted it to him when it was new, but he has continued to carry that knife for a long time. And Brother Dan, I'm looking right at you, brother. Thank you. Okay. He gave me a challenge here, and I'll explain what I did here in just a second. But before we do that, I'm fixing to give you an example of that knife that was gifted to me by Bigfish7334. Okay, now some of y'all know he did some YouTubes. He may still do some YouTube, but when he first popped up on the radar, he had 10 or 15 videos, mainly of him and his son or grandson fishing. I'm not sure who the child or the youngster was in the video, but they were fishing, and of course there were several photographs and shorts and stuff that showed him. The boy can set the hook, okay? The boy can set the hook. He knows that when he feels that tap, they ain't got it in the hand. He understands that. And if you ask him what they're biting on, he's going to say a hook, and he's going to tell you how deep. He's going to say about that far off the bottom, okay? Because he's a fisherman, and he knows what he's talking about. His name's Brother Wally. Brother Raleigh, thank you, sir, for this knife. I've thanked you on several occasions. And when he first popped on the screen, me being a brand new YouTuber myself, I said, well, I'm going to reach out to this guy. And I sent him a gift. Didn't expect nothing back. Didn't even know that kind of stuff happened. But when I find, I pulled my knife out, whatever I was toting at the gas station, and just handed it to somebody I hadn't seen in years. Did it at the post office like three or four days ago. So that's just what I do, man. Pocket knife is a bond. You give somebody a pocket knife, it's a bond. You have a bond between that person and other people, okay? And example, Brother Rex gave me this little copperhead the other day, okay? That's a bond. This knife's not going anywhere. I will have that until I pass. I can promise that. But anyway, and here's something, little son. Here's how I store my Granddaddy Barlows. Okay, so I bought some glasses like this at Walmart. They come in these little glasses case. I put them in the glasses case, and I got a crayon box I bought from Walmart, and they fit right in there perfect. I've got all 15, 25, 20 Granddaddy Barlows that I have in that box. All right, y'all. I hope y'all ready, man. Because this right here. This is a smoke show. Y'all look at this. Bone handle, saber, Granddaddy Barlow. All right. This is as good as you can get, man. These knives were made in the '60s. And I'll go over how I know that. But probably late 60s, early 70s. Beautiful, beautiful orange gray saw cut. That saw cut bone. There's your saber. Okay. This thing got some spring, brother. Okay, goes right into the half stop. Yeah, ain't going nowhere. That's in the half stop right there. And then, okay. Now I got a bunch of Granddaddy Barlows, bunch. Okay, and you don't get no better than that. And when I got this, I haven't done anything to it, but I took a little HT's favorite salve, that Mother's Polish, and I gave this one polish. Okay, so there's another individual. Not only does Brother Dwayne know how to sharpen a knife, Brother Wally knows how to sharpen one. Proof positive. Now, I'm gonna it's got everything it's supposed to have. Got the pawpaw tieners. Got the beauty. It's a full blade. And Brother Wally sent me a email with a picture of this in it. And I said, yeah, I said, that's a smoker right there, Brother Wally. Didn't think nothing about it. A week later, it was at my door. Brother Wally, thank you again. And I'm gonna keep that. Every time this knife comes out of the thing, I think about you. It doesn't get carried much because I cherish that. I cherish that knife. But anyway, old Brother Dan over there in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's not Atlanta, it's Atlanta, Georgia. One little short word, Atlanta. Okay, and I'm still polishing on this one because it. I'm gonna call it a smoke show too. You know why? Because I think I turned it into a pretty good user. Let's look at it. Okay, very similar. If I didn't show you the other side of it, you'd say, well, that's the same knife. Well, this is a little on the tail right there. It's lighter. Still got your saw cut bone in there. But here's the problem. All right, and the repair. There's a good looking bone. They have probably a name for that, but you see the tail of it had been broken out. Okay, and what I did was took clear. There's no way to match that. Okay, and I went to the I went to the master and asked him what I should do to match this. And he suggested that I find some brick, some masonry brick that, take the knife and hold it up to the brick. And I went 4 or 5 places and I found a couple that matched pretty darn close. I tried dyeing epoxy to the right color. And every time I put the dye in there, the epoxy would immediately get hard, and I didn't have enough time to work on it. I went to a 20-minute epoxy, tried a different paint. It did the same thing. I didn't have time to work on it. So I just took clear. I let it rust. Okay, the liners in these are metal. So I let it rust, hoping that rust would come through and show y'all the color of the rust, but it didn't, and that's fine. And so you can see that it's a flashlight that broke the internet. Y'all can see that it's just clear, and if you, I don't know if I can get it where y'all can. There you go. You see it's you can see down where I took a Dremel tool and modified the bottom of it so it'll stay. It's not gonna come off. I can promise you that. This was 10-minute epoxy, and I put it on there, and it was made a dam around the end of the knife, and it was, it was a 1/2 inch thick whenever it got hard. So I had to grind it and sand it and grind it and all that to get it to where it looks like that, which that ain't no problem for a high stepper. And then I took it through got HT's magic paste and gave it a good rub. Got it all shined up. She's pretty. She's pretty as that doesn't over. Okay, but here's the problem. Whoever owned this knife used it hard, very hard. Okay, all the back springs were not in line. So I took my little birdie and I sanded all of this down. Put a 240 grit thing in there, and I sanded it all the way down, and then got it to where it was smooth, and then put on a 400, refined it a little bit, and then polished it out with a 1000 grit, and it's just as smooth as it could be now. And you can see where, you can see like right here where it was too low. And the sander, the belt couldn't get down inside there to get that out. And I could have took it to Dremel, and put a little grinding wheel on there and got that out. But that's the pawpaw tiner that this knife had. Now the blade. See, all of these are adding up to me the reason that I didn't do the full restoration and just went ahead and put the the clear on there and let it ride, because I turned it into a user. Now look at this. You can see that there's about, I'll say close to a ½ inch or more of the blade is gone. I don't know if it was broken or it just got sharpened down to that position or not. I just don't know. But sometimes, guys, you just gotta let an old knife be an old knife. You can't, you know, and that's what this is. Look at the and I could have, if I can get it to where it shows. I could see how it looks like somebody put this on a grinder, and I don't know what they did. Or use sandpaper. You can see that the condition of that blade is just, I don't know, good carbon steel. So it's rough. But after I did all that, got it polished up, got it all where it was supposed to be, I'll put an edge on it. And of course, just like that one over there. Well, it ain't as sharp as that one. But she will cut. mainly because the blade thickness. This knife has been sharpened down to where this blade is very thin down at the edge. And this blade is very thick at the edge. But it'll cut. I mean, I got it sharpened up to where it'll cut. I mean, you don't want this one closing on your finger. You would seriously lose some meat if you closed that one that Brother Wally gave me. I can promise you that. So, there you go, guys. Granddaddy Barlow from the Sabre Japan Company. I won't have any trouble putting this in my pocket. And if I want to open a can of paint with it, I can. I won't, but I could. Because it's a user. That's what it's for. Not for opening cans of paint. You heard that snap? Now, we'll go ahead and give you the real deal Holyfield. Can't go wrong here. I'm going to put this right back in this case right here, and it's going to go right back in my collection right where it needs to be. All right, the last knife, guys. It's, you know, about, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, maybe 10 days, maybe a little more than that. I don't know. But Brother A-Dub, Aaron Williams, he was out in the edge of a field, just got through working on something, I don't know what it was, and he just opened up the back of his, I guess he has a minivan or a van or whatever it is, maybe not a minivan. He's too manly to have a minivan. Anyway, he opened up the back of it and did a pocket dump. He went through the case, knife, a big folder hunter, and he went through I think he had, well, I don't have it sitting there, I thought it is. He carries a Pecos little mini folded hunter. He gifted me one. Anyway, then he pulled out a knife, and I told myself, I said, Sel, you got one of them. Matter of fact, I have a couple of them. But this was the best one that I could get, okay? And what this is, it's a floral knife, technically. That's what Schrade made it for. Okay, it's about 4 inches, like a trapper, single bladed. It has a sheep foot blade. So I got mine out, put it in the spa, gave it the full spa treatment. It's just an everyday utility. It's just a great pocket. I've had this in my pocket this weekend. It's just a wonderful pocket knife. No half stop, but got good snap. Now, when I got this one out of the box that I found them in, the couple I had, the blade was proud. See if I can show you. Maybe I can't. But the blade was sticking up. about that far. And the reason I quit carrying it, because I guess at some point during my life, I stuck my finger in there and cut my finger on it and said, well, I ain't toting this no more. And I put it in there and I actually bought like 6 or 7 of these at a gun and knife show in the Biloxi Coliseum in Mississippi. And I want to say it was either the early 80s or the middle 80s. Not sure. Could have been late 80s. All them years is tough on the old boy. He don't remember a lot. But I ended up giving them. I think I gave one to my father, and I gave one to another friend of mine. And then, but the real reason that I knew about this knife was they used to work in a paper mill, and they used to give these out, and the paper companies would put their advertising, the particular advertising that they were doing, or the people that were passing these out, they made felt. Okay, these felts were stretched across this machine. It was 200 and some inches across, and we squirted the pulp water mixture out on that, which drained out real quick, and then the paper, what was left was just the fibers that were mixed in with the water. And then that was picked up and it was run through a series of dryers. Well, they gave us these knives to cut that felt off. You could take this knife and get on one side underneath in a pit where it ran through where it was being reconditioned, because the belt was running at 2,000 feet a minute. And every revolution, the belt would be reconditioned before it picked up its next part of the paper. Anyway, that's a lot. I mean, I could sit there and talk about paper machine for hours. But I was pretty big. I was a man at that paper mill on my shift. There was the next level for me was a supervisor. I would too much politics for me. I wasn't ever going to be a supervisor. But I had a car wreck and lost that job, and so that's what that is. But anyway, so I got this one out, took it through the spa, took it through all the grits, got her polished up pretty good, and then gave her a good sharpen. See if I can find something here. But and this is why A-Dub probably carries it. Watch this. Okay. Of course, let me get that tang stamp, y'all. It says Trade Plus USA 175. Okay. Just if you get a chance to see one of these at a show or somewhere, just absolutely smooth. It had a little writing on it, and I got rid of that with the 400. But anyway, there you go, guys. 30 minutes. This is going to be my test video on my new camera. I hope it works. I done put 30 minutes into this, 33 minutes and 25 seconds into this video, so I hope it works. And so I'm going to get on out of here. I love every one of y'all. Happy Monday. Rule number 9.